our clips. From entertainment to the news that's real, showcasing our culture, that's the deal. Diaspora dreams in a vibrant space. Ginger Media TV setting the pace. Join the journey, it's a vibrant ride. Ginger Media TV, we stand with pride. Ginger Media TV, where the world aligns. African stories and catchy designs. News and entertainment at your fingertips. With the pulse of the people, stay true to our clips. Subscribe today, don't miss a beat. With Ginger Media, your life feels sweet. Ooh. Ginger Media TV, where the world aligns. African stories and catchy designs.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Moses, okay, and I welcome you to this evening conversation. I hope you all can hear me loud and clear. Very loud, I believe. Yes, very loud and clear. Let's get things right. So where are you joining me from? The echo is still stuck. Okay, let me know where you're joining me from. My name is Moses. Okay, this evening we will be looking at why Tinubu sacked his ministers. And we're going to be hearing that from Bayo Onanuga. You know, many of you have not really seen Bayo Onanuga speak before. You may be mistaken and you may take him too serious when you hear him talk like a reverend father, very calmly, in a very calm demeanor. You may think, oh, this man is really a good gentleman. But I'm not saying that he's not a gentleman, but just for you to know. Because if you actually watch, you know that many of you got to know the name Bayo Onanuga from this tweet. This tweet where he wrote, I owe no apology for anyone for any ethnic slur against Igbos. They are a threat to Yorubas, Bayo Onanuga. That is the man who, before the election, who said that because many Igbos in Lagos obviously voted for Peter Obi and did not vote for their emperor. And he was very mistaken, and he blamed Igbo for making Tinubu lose Lagos. We say no. When some of us said that, the Igbos do not have the numbers to make Tinubu lose Lagos. Tinubu lost Lagos because the intelligent Yorubas saw through him, knew that he was and still an emperor, the Mungo Park and the discoverer and the discovery of Lagos State. The one who made and discovered Lagos, Mungo Park. Before him, all the things that Bubamawa did in Lagos amounted to naught. All the things that our elder and respected father, Pa Latif Jakonde, late, all the things he did was nothing until the emperor and the discoverer of Lagos came and everything came to be. So, based on the tweet that he made, and I believe, like I said before, many of you got to know him from that tweet. Today, he came online. He had a conversation with Charles Anagolu, and in the conversation with Charles Anagolu, he tried to explain the reason why Tinubu sacked the 5 ministers that he did sack. Sorry for the mix-up here. yesterday during my live stream, we said it's 6, but eventually it's 5. The correct number is 5, sacked, 7 new, right? Then 10 portfolio rejig. So his argument is that they asked you that is watching me now, that they came to the social media and asked you, who do you think is working fine and who is not working fine? I'm not aware, and I didn't read any polls. So if you read their polls, if you read where they said which minister is doing well, please can you share the link in the comment section? The comment section is open today for subscribers and non-subscribers. So in case you have the link, please can you please share with us? And before we get into the meat of the matter, I will try to stay within an hour. But before we get into the meat of the matter, please may I plead with you, if you have not subscribed to this platform and you're watching me for the first time, or you're coming back, because when I look at the YouTube algorithm from the back end, I see that over 70% of us who like the content and keep coming back, but they are not subscribers. Why? We know they charge now. You know, we have a tax man as president. So you guys are paying tax. But we know that we are not collecting tax. It's free. Freely we receive. Freely we give unto you. But again, if you want to support us, you can see our AZA at the bottom. We can use paper. We can use Zabank. Even the number there is into an account. But, you know, however we want to do it, but the greatest thing you're going to do is to like, share, and subscribe. So let's get into the meat of the matter, people. And if you don't mind, those of you watching me, let me know also where you are joining us from. So let's listen to Bayo Onanuga for the first time. Many of you may have seen him speak for the first time, and let's listen to him.
I had to rush to this place.
Well,
I really apologize.
Sure, we accept your apology because, I mean, you're here. So that sort of wipes away the sins, doesn't it? So first of all, let's get straight to it. What's the reason behind this cabinet reshuffle and why now?
Let me take you back to August last year when the ministers were.
If not that this man had tweeted vile things that you never believed that someone in his, someone who speaks like this could actually do, you'll be surprised that someone like him, right, can actually tweet something like this. Look, let me show you something like this. Can you believe that Bayo Onanuga, someone tweeted this and he retweeted it and added bitter Obi with this AI generated image, right? Could you believe that someone in his league would do this? And people are questioning, how did we get here? Someone in his nature, someone who speaks in this manner. But let's listen to him, by the way.
Sworn in, the president actually told them that as a president, he has the power to hire and fire, and that he will not hesitate to remove ministers who could not perform. And then there was a retreat in October last year where he also repeated the same warning about his plan to always trying to rejig his cabinet in case some are not performing well. And I think at that retreat also told them that there'll be a kind of performance appraiser. And he put Adiza, the special advisor on policy, to coordinate that. It was not just something that was done whimsically. I think the president, Adiza in fact brought technology to it, asking Nigerians to score the ministers. So this was done. Whoever was removed out of the ministers, it was based on some empirical facts, the public perception of those ministers, and they are the people who actually did the scorecard. and the president acted on the results
Right.
that in the public perception of those ministers. That's what happened.
So, in his argument, the president acted on the public perception of these ministers. Those were his words. Now you're watching me now. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I missed the memo. I didn't know when these questions were posed. Maybe I was sleeping. Maybe I was rereading what he wrote and I missed it. Pardon me. But if you know where they asked this question, maybe I was reading this tweet because he says, let 2023 be the last time of Igbo interference in Lagos politics. Let there be no repeat in 2027. Lagos is like Anambra, Imo, and any other state. It is not no man's land, not Federal Capital Territory. It is Yoruba land. Mind your business. When you read something like this, for a man who is very, very close to the president, that it's actually doing the job of presidential spokesperson now. And you read something like this from such a man, you ask, in Anambra, for instance, in Imo State, for instance, I have not seen and I'm not aware that anybody who is not an indigene of that state is being asked not to vote, or that talks came to say that they should not vote. Again, I have to make this clear. These were minute individual, very few minute individual. Let no one tell you that the Yoruba stopped Ndibo from voting in Lagos. No, that's not correct. There were very few talks who stopped certain people who they believed would vote certain individuals, including even some Yorubas were stopped. So this is not about any ethnic discussion. No. We must state who is wrong. In this case, Bayo Onanuga, the man who we've just listened today. So, you know, when you ever hear Bayo Onanuga and you don't know who he is the man you've just listened to, is the man you're looking at now, who made this tweet. And when many people asked him to, you know, take this tweet down, to say this is actually not right from a man of your caliber, instead of him to actually take that tweet down and probably apologize, but the man, because I think someone like Festus Keyamo, SAN, who is now the Minister of Aviation, called him out publicly on Twitter, saying, brother, what you've done is despicable. Take this tweet down. But rather for him to listen to wise counsel, he did this one. You know, he went further to say, I owe no one apology for ethnic slur. Now, the word himself, he used it. So meaning he understood that what he did was an ethnic slur. It's just like there was this Reverend Father in Anambra State called Ebube, I think Ebube Monso, I think he's in UK, in Anambra State. He made a statement one day saying that anybody who did not vote Peter Obi is either an imbecile or something like that. And many of us came out. Myself, I said, the man must be smoking something. People must have the right to vote for or against Peter Obi, against Bola Tinubu, against Buhari, against Atiku. That's why it is democracy. You must not insult people for deciding to vote for Mr. A or deciding to go to vote for Mr. B. It's none of their, you know, it's their fundamental human right. Therefore, that they decided to vote for a particular candidate is not, be war now. So, be war. We cannot be fighting, oh, they didn't vote this person, they didn't vote this person. Anyway, whoever will vote now We don't they see how they happen. He don't he don't reach everybody for neck. So let's and here Bayo Onanuga with this interview with Charles Anagolo clearly states here that President Tinubu used empirical evidence that people were asked, that people were asked, who were they who is the best minister, who were they going to remove empirically, and that they used people's opinion to remove the ministers. I have no issue with that. But I do not know when this data collection was done. If you know when this data collection was done, please can you share the link? I would want to see, honestly. I would want to. Though there is no minister there that is actually in there that I have seen any, fantastic job that was done. The one that I was actually shocked is the one from, I think, Imo State, Uju, I think the Igbo woman, that I think twice I have seen her on social media fighting her ministry. She invades where, things are being, that things are being done, and she will just come in there, bang, take everybody out, right? Something like that. And apart from that, I haven't seen any other. But let's continue.
Well, I'm glad you brought Hadiza Bala Usman up because I was going to ask you whether her performance assessment report had anything to do with these sackings, because I mean she is the special advisor to the president on policy coordination, but you've kind of answered that. But someone suggested that some of the ministers who were dismissed were simply professionally exhausted. Is that perhaps too strong or too weak a term?
I think that may be a very, very strong.
Well, I mean, you sacked them, didn't you?
Well, we didn't even use the word sack. The president used the word discharge.
Yeah, but they were, let's face it,
Yeah,
they were let go.
Yeah, they were let go, they were relieved of their duties.
Right.
And some other people were. But see, the way the president dealt with it, after the council meeting today, he had a meeting, he called them for a meeting, and I think he thanked them for the services they rendered in the last 1 year or so. And I think on that note, the party, he didn't just, unlike the military days when you are sacked on radio, he called them. He tried to socialize with them for another day and say, thank you for what they've done, and explain to them why they just had to go.
Okay, well, that's actually that's a very interesting point. And that's a fairly polite way to say goodbye, because I was going to ask you whether or not, because I mean, we saw them at that Federal Executive Council meeting today, whether or not he made the announcement at the Federal Executive Council
No, he didn't.
meeting.
He didn't
Right,
make it.
okay.
He didn't make that. The only hint he gave was that at the end of the meeting, he named some 5 persons and asked them to see him
Right.
after the meeting.
But that must have been a warning sign, wasn't it?
Well, unless you are very perceptive, you don't really
Right.
know what was amiss. So I think he was polite in the
Right.
way he dealt with it. I said he didn't do it the military way, at least he called them and told them, this is why I'm asking you to go.
So, I mean, it can be said then that those who were effectively sacked, even though you don't like that word, were not meeting the president's expectations.
Okay. So, like I said, guys, you can see that. You can see that he does not want to have, to use the word that they were sacked. I don't know. If you relieve somebody of his duty, you sacked the person, it doesn't matter. Whether you relieve the individual of his duty or you sacked the person of the duty, it doesn't matter. Now, this is in one breath, but in another breath, you now see where actually um, I think one of those that was within the obedient movement during the campaign wasn't in the TVC, also gave an insight from a different perspective why he thinks that this happened. Because again, people do have their ideas as to why they believe the president acted. And again, I think if you ask so many people, myself included, will say, well, it's been something that ought to have happened for a very long time. So if we go back to the TVC here, let's listen to this argument too.
Report. Of course, you understand that that program, that story went out yesterday. Hence, you can put the today's in perspective. Okay, we still have with us Dr. Okwebanwo. 5 sacked, 7 more nominated, and quite a number reassigned. Your first impressions, Okwe?
Yes, as for the nominations, I think this time, I think Mr. President actually put the round pegs in round holes, because those 7 people, they meet what I've been talking about for months now, that we need round pegs in round holes. And when I look at those 7, with the exception of one of them that was a little bit shaky in terms of whether he has domain expertise or experience, every one of them, they are masters of their game in their portfolios. So that way, the learning curve is going to be reduced, unlike what we had with some of the ones in the past that someone like me have complained about, that they are all pretty smart people, but some of them were placed in portfolios that they didn't have domain expertise or experience. So they're going to need to spend time to learn it. Geniuses will come through eventually, but I don't care who you are, if you don't have domain expertise and you come into a place, you're going to spend months that Nigeria don't have to go and learn the job. But these ones, they come in swinging. Jumoke Oduwole, for instance, Stanford, Harvard, experience, decades of experience in things to do with trade and industry. So excellent. Bianca Ojukwu, a former ambassador who's had decades of domain experience in external affairs. Idi Meha, who's a man I've even loved before they brought him up. I saw him on Twitter one day, the man doing amazing stuff with livestock and really being on the field, doing this livestock stuff. So when I saw him appointed as Minister of Livestock, that's the one that made me the happiest. But we need food in Nigeria. And the man had domain expertise there. When you look at Yusuf Abdullah Atta, also has some kind of domain experience with Kano State Housing Corporation. Dr. Yuwadu at the same thing. He has experience with IDP and humanitarian resources. It's only Suwaiba Ahmad that I'm not so sure that his domain expertise was as extensive as the rest. But so I give Mr. President kudos. They are not known names other than Bianca, but these are people that are there that Nigerians don't even know exist, but they have amazing profile in the portfolio that Mr. President has put them. So I expect them to hit the ground running like Jumoke, Bianca, Edie, all these people. So I give kudos to Mr. President, at least on the new appointments. I'm not as happy with the others, but let's stick with the question.
Well, okay. So on this one, you've seen it. That's his view on this. That he thinks that the president had done well in making this rejig. I think I would agree with him. Bianca Bianca Ojukwu, however we'll call that. It's a very brilliant woman, so to say. He alluded to that. Being an ambassador before, ambassador to Spain, and those Nigerians in Spain, if you're watching, you can attest to her performance as she was when she was a minister in when she was an ambassador in Spain. So you can attest to that, right? How well she did or how well she did not. Okay. However, let's move to the morning show guys and let's see their own part of the analysis. Before we get to the portfolio that was given to Reno Mokri, Daniel Bwala, and Femi Fani Kayode, because they were given portfolios too. So if you don't know that, we'll prove to you this evening the portfolios that they were given. Just stay tuned before we get to that.
You viewers, let's begin what's trending. With reactions trailing the cabinet reshuffle on Wednesday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu announced the sacking of 5 ministers and named 7 new members of his cabinet. The president also swapped 10 others. And in the course, some ministers became senior ministers. Let's take a look at the president's tweet after the Federal Executive Council meeting, highlighting 8 key actions aimed at boosting efficiency in his administration. President Tinubu wrote, the approved actions are: 1. The Ministry of Niger Delta Development has been renamed the Ministry of Regional Development, overseeing all regional development commissions. 2. The Ministry of Sports Development has been wound up and its responsibilities transferred to the National Sports Commission to promote a vibrant sports economy. 3. The Federal Ministry of Tourism and the Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy has been merged into the Federal Ministry of Art, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy. 4. 10 ministers reassigned to new portfolios. 5 ministers have been discharged from their positions. 6. 7 new ministers have been nominated for Senate confirmation. 7. Shehu Diko appointed as chairman of the National Sports Commission. 8. Sunday Dari appointed as special advisor to the President on Public Communication and Orientation under the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation. Well, I thank the outgoing members of the Federal Executive Council for their service to the nation and wish them the best in their future endeavors. Tinubu also said, I told the newly appointed ministers as well as their reassigned colleagues to see their appointment as a call to serve the nation. A lot of reactions have trailed this. I believe you guys just spoke with Amaju Pinnick. I missed that conversation about, the reassignment of the sports ministry. I'd love to hear about that. But a lot of people have, shared their views on these affected ministers. But let me talk about the affected ministers. Well, the affected ministers include the Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Ohanenye.
Okay, someone is pointing out in the comments section that Uju is from Anambra State. I thought she was Imo State. Okay, it's fine. But then it is not right that a senior minister was removed, then replaced for a junior minister, which is the Minister of State. In that case, if she's taking if Bianca, who is from APCA, is taking the slot is being swapped with her, then Bianca is a junior minister because she's a minister of state, not a full-fledged minister in the Nigerian ministerial concept here. But whatever that means, minister and minister, But Uju really fought, man. That woman, she I don't want to say she's a female version of weak. No, but she really liked gra, she really liked to shake things somehow. But 3 women out, 2 men. So
the Minister of Tourism, Lola Adejon, the Minister of Youth Development, Jamila Bio Ibrahim, the Minister of Education, Tai Maman, and the Minister of State, Housing and Urban Development, Abdullahi Mamad Gwazo. Well, the sacked Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Ohanenye, who topped the list of the major casualty of Tinubu's cabinet reshuffle, was quite controversial during her tenure. Users on social media have pointed out some of the scandals that probably led to her termination, including a threat to sue the United Nations over donor funds and a University of Calabar sexual harassment case where she was heard in a viral audio attempting to hush victims of sexual harassment, to which she later apologized. Well, at the just concluded United Nations General Assembly meeting held in New York, the minister spoke to a Rise International correspondent, Adefemi Akinsoya, boasting about her achievements, which has now gone viral. Let's take a listen.
If I didn't have the support of Mr. President, who born you? I would have been sacked by now. That's what normally presidents do. But I've been taking giant steps, challenging issues that are not right to me concerning my job, and nothing has happened to me. So I came here actually for change of plans. I am going to fight it until I achieve it. As I speak to you, I've done it with UNICEF. UN Women is coming. I will make it so difficult for anyone to work in our country with the kind of way they've been working before now. Things must have to change. The narratives must change. So I came here just specifically on this because I was here last year. I went home with nothing. Most countries that come here, they go home with nothing as far as I'm concerned. If anybody has achieved anything, they should let me know. So we have to start achieving something. How do we start achieving something? By changing the action plan so that the former action plan they were using, which was fetching us nothing, will be changed to focus on who we are and what we can benefit from, what can impact on our people and change the narratives for them so that the poor will start breathing, which is mainly the president's renewed hope agenda.
Thousands of woodworkers are now easily...
In one of, I think there was this video with Abati really got me. This video was the video that got me to actually pay attention to her when Abati asked her this question. Sorry about that, but
I want you to identify those 6 states that we referred to in the introduction. Those 6 states where you have the pilot programs. If we could just list them so that we can move on.
The 6 states are yes, I will mention but few because I don't really know all of it. Niger.
You don't know Abia, the 6 states where you're having the program?
I don't know all of... No, listen to me, my dear brother, please. The 6 states now is not the issue to me. The issue to me is all the states. That is what I'm focusing on. I can't go and start focusing on the 6 states when the money coming can go around all the states, including FCT.
Watching this, it reminds me, I don't know if many of you remember the Oga at the top, that kind of interview where someone was asked, which was the website of the NNCDC, and the lady demands NNCDC dot. That's it. www.nncdc. That's all. So, and they were asking, so that's all how? And they say, yeah, that's all. That's the website they're going to use. And because he doesn't want to announce another website, and the Oga at the top would announce another website. That man was she was very funny here. But anyway, let's go back to our Rise TV guys here, and let's hear this.
Action Minister has been sacked. And like I read in the message there, a lot of people have said the reason why she was probably terminated, including suing the UN. For me, that was number one. I just didn't understand what that was. Let me just take this reaction from Anonymous. This person wrote, I hope Uju Ohanenye will not sue Tinubu for sacking her. If she can sue UN and Arise News, will she actually sue? Who is Tinubu? Who born you? Who born you? Really, I thought that was a funny one. But obviously, she did sue us. She did sue us. But I think that they would, Nigerians would say this is one of the ministers that actually deserve to be terminated because of some of those scandals. It's not me. That's the news out there. But she also wrote a letter of appreciation, which I'd like to read out. She wrote, I write to express my sincere gratitude to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the opportunity to serve as a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It has been an honor and a privilege to contribute to the development of our nation. I would also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Senator Oluremi Tinubu, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for her invaluable guidance and support during my tenure as Minister of Women Affairs. Her kindness and encouragement have been instrumental to my success. To the people of Nigeria, I am deeply grateful for your unwavering support. Your trust and confidence in me have been a constant source of inspiration. I remain committed to serving my country and will continue to do my utmost to contribute to its progress and prosperity. I thought that was a very well-written letter of appreciation. Rufy on fire.
So, you see, apart from all the laughs, we need to now look deeply. What were Uju's problems? Big character flaw. See, you cannot live life without your character. You can lose wealth and gain it back. You can lose health and fix it. But once you lose character, you lose everything. There was somebody I was speaking to when she said she was going to sue you, and a top lawyer in President Tinubu's, circle. And he said he famously told the president that, your minister want to sue the UN, would you give me the brief? That was how much of a joke she had become. And I hope she learns. Apart from everything said, I hope she's able to introspect. Because, life will throw at you more positions in the future. But what you learn from this, because she came in with a lot of promise.
She did.
She ran for presidency in the APC prior to now.
First female candidate.
She'd been doing
only woman.
She's been doing a lot of charity, which I used to enjoy some of her programs on another channel then. And we thought that she was able to bring all of that to bear. But look at the Unical case. Look at even us when we have interviews. Look at how quick she was quick to sue us. Look at the character in general. I think the words of Sir Edmund Hillary is very apt for her. Sir Edmund Hillary conquered Everest. And when he was asked that you conquered this mountain so high, Sir Edmund Hillary said, I didn't conquer Everest, I conquered myself. For you to become anything great in life, you need to conquer yourself, which happens to be the character, those traits that you know that are not good about yourself.
Listening to this, it brings to mind one minister that had he been relieved of his duty, people in Abuja would have declared, free bar. The other people would also declare free. We know who I'm talking about. People in Abuja would have declared their this, because you can imagine Uju. Yesterday, when the announcement came, this is how the people in her offices, in her ministry, this is how they danced yesterday. Look. Can you imagine? Maybe she was also suing her staff, Could you imagine how terrible a human being would be? I'm not saying that she's a terrible woman, but, working in an environment, it will really, really be heartbreaking that anything happened to you, you lost your job, and your junior staff are really jubilating in this manner, glad to see you go. It meant that if they had opportunity, if they were given whatever, they could have actually done something to you. They would, because they, obviously they didn't like you. They didn't like you in any way, shape, or form. That's what it means. To really see that when her termination was announced, that people were really jubilating in that form. When I saw that video, I said, now, wow, either she really showed her staff members shaggy, or that they don't really like her. But you can imagine someone who wanting to sue United Nations, someone who is suing Arise for for an interview, and even the president Tinubu was afraid that if he didn't act early enough, he may have been sued as well. But even Tinubu is still not out of the woods because Tinubu can still be sued.
You need to introspect deeply. And that's what we're talking about. But anyway, in good faith, she wrote a letter.
Yeah, it was
congratulations to the other people like Bianca and the likes of other people, you know.
Right. Well, all right.
Well,
there was another video that was trending about some sort of jubilation, in her ministry, but that was a fake video. I don't think anybody was jubilating. It was an old video that was circulating. I thought that I should just try to, debunk that actual video,
so
fake video.
Because it's been trending as well.
Right.
People were saying that they were happy that she was gone.
So, at the end of the day, let's move to Bianca because Bianca was also reintroduced yesterday.
On to a former governor of the old Anambra State, Christian Ono, has had an illustrious diplomatic career, serving as Nigeria's ambassador to Spain from 2012 to 2015, and as the country's permanent representative to the UN Tourism Organization. She has also held key positions in various national committees and has received several awards for her contributions to diplomacy, business, and charity. Despite her achievements, a cross-section of Nigerians have expressed the view that her appointment may be political. Well, let's take some reactions. This is from Dikbo, who wrote, President Tinubu used one stone to kill 3 birds with the appointment of Bianca Ojukwu. She has held a similar role previously and did a decent job. Second, this should further unite the country. Third, it might win some folks on his side. From her zone, I wish her luck. Well, legendary Joe wrote, the beauty queen, diplomat, lawyer, business mogul, politician, and now Minister of Foreign Affairs State, Bianca Olivia Odumegu Ojukwu. When Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu goes hunting for partners in nation building, he doesn't see tribe, ethnicity, religion, or gender. Round pegs in round holes. Period. Queen Bianca may have been denied the opportunity to serve upon the soil she called home, despite sharing their tongue and being wife to their greatest son of the soil and having their children. But Asiwaju is totally blind to such sentiments and will go for the best regardless of differences, a true hallmark of a leader. Congrats, Queen, your capacity is not in doubt. Well, Dr. Bati, over to you on the appointment of Bianca Ojukwu.
Well, before Abati says anything, I think I disagree with this tweet. I think Tinubu was thinking of more of 2027 than whatever, He's looking at the agitation from the southeast. He's looking at the connection with Ojukwu. He's looking at the proximity to Peter Obi and the current governor of Anambra State. So 4 stones. But I will not tell them what the memo is. I will not say anything. But know that those permutations would amount to 0. It's not going to fly. Let her go and let her actually do her job, serve her fatherland, and get everybody. My advice to her to be, as foreign, junior foreign minister, please, work with Abike Dabri, do the best you can to represent and to help the Nigerian diaspora, irrespective of where they come from, east, north, south, west, whatever tongue they speak, as long as they are bona fide citizens of Nigeria. Do not, Bianca, do not. I know you can do it, Iyom, as I fondly call you, Iyom, you can do it. Do not look at faces. Do the job. Leave an indelible mark. Right? You can do it. You've done it before. You can even do better because experience, age has really taught you more than what anybody can actually say as it is today?
Very quickly, I mean, I said earlier on this same program that if you look at her CV, because sometimes when you want to appoint people, you look at their CV. She has a degree.
I recommend this test. Keep your cooking oil in the fridge for 7 hours.
So, if we look again, before I bring back Abati, I would want to look at because someone asked a question in the comment section. If the Ministry of Finance was also affected. So let's take a look at this, and you look at the analysis of the ministries that that were affected, and the reshuffle. And I think Ministry of Finance is not left out. Let's have a look here.
They are as follows: Barrister Uju Ohanenye, Minister of Women Affairs; Lola Adejon, Minister of Tourism; Professor Tahir Mama, Minister of Education; Abdullahi Muhammad Guazo.
So these are the ones that were removed, right? Minister of State for Housing, Minister of Youth Development, Minister of Tourism, Minister of Women Affairs, right? Then you now see the ones that were
Minister of State Housing
Hold on.
and Urban Development, Dr. Jamila Bio Ibrahim, Minister of Youth Development. So only 5 ministers were discharged.
10 ministers have been reassigned to new portfolios. Dr. Yusuf Sununu, previously Minister of State for Education, is now Minister of State for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. Tunji Alausa, formerly Minister of State for Health, has been elevated to the role of Minister of Education. Bello Goronyo, who was the Minister of State for Water Resources and Sanitation, is now the Minister of State for Works. Abubakar Momo, who once led the Niger Delta Ministry, now oversees the newly created Ministry of Regional Development. Uba Amadu, who served as Minister of State for Steel Development, has been reassigned as Minister of State for Regional Development. Doris Uzoka Anete has transitioned from the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment to become Minister of State for Finance.
You see that Doris Anite is now moving to finance, and when we look at finance, it's one of those places that they've done this mumbo jumbo that they've done that got us into this mess. So it's actually for the comment for the person who commented in the who's that again? I think that's Ndidi Amaka. For that comment, if you look, I think you alluded to the Ministry of Finance, and Ministry of Finance is also taking care of it.
Senator John Eno, previously in charge of sports development, is now the Minister of State for Trade and Investment following the dissolution of his former ministry. Iman Suleiman Ibrahim moves from Minister of State for Police Affairs to Minister of Women Affairs. Ayodele Olawande, previously Minister of State for Youth Development, is now the Minister of Youth Development, and Dr. Salako Adeboye, formerly Minister of State for Environment, takes on the role of. In addition to these changes, President Tinubu has nominated 7 new ministers pending Senate approval. The nominees include Dr. Netawe Yiwatda as Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Bianca Ojukwu as Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Muhammadu Megari Dingyadi, who previously served as Minister of Police Affairs under former President Muhammadu Buhari, has been nominated to replace Simon Lalong as Minister of Employment. Lalong had left the administration to focus on his position in the 10th Senate. Others are Jumoke Oduwole as Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Idimukta Mahia as Minister of a newly established ministry. So
I think one of the ministries that Nigerians should pay attention to is the Ministry of Livestock. Because this is now where when we had this issue of cows roaming the streets, destroying farmland, that led to crisis within the southeast and the southeast, in fact, the whole southern region. Recall that because these marauders were camping in the forest, hence that gave the rise of Sunday Boho and co. So I believe Nigerians should pay attention to this ministry, and we must all collectively see how we engage this guy, Idi Mukhtar Maiha, because this ministry is, has a critical role to play to see that marauders no longer use cows on the streets. I mean, cows should be, restricted to ranches, and if at all they have to move from point A to B, then they need to be trucked so that they don't cause the level of havoc that we saw in the last couple of years under President Muhammadu Buhari.
Idi Mukhtar Maha, as a minister, a newly established ministry. Suwaiba Ahmed has been nominated as Minister of State for Education, while Yusuf Atta is nominated as Minister of State for Housing and Urban Development. The president had set up a central delivery coordination unit led by Hadiza Bala Usman to measure the performance of his minister. Since then, only Betta Edu, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, had been suspended after an alleged financial misappropriation until now, as she has been officially replaced in this cabinet overhaul. This shake-up comes...
Anyway, so I know every one of you is waiting for the real deal. You have not seen the ministry given to Reno Omokri. You have not seen the ministry given to FKK and Daniel Bwala. But we'll see the ministry now, because that's also a very important ministry that was assigned to them. Let me put the record. Let's listen to about it first, then I'll put the record for this.
Look at their CV. She has a degree, 2006, in international relations and diplomacy. She has worked as a senior special assistant on diaspora affairs.
Yes.
I think she's also been High Commissioner to Ghana. She's also been ambassador to Spain. So she has very important experience in that field.
Yeah.
It's not as if she's coming newly into foreign affairs. The second point to be made is that many people commenting on this, they're saying, oh, it's because she's Mrs. Ojukwu. No, oftentimes we're unfair to people. It's not, people don't always, I know some people get appointments because of the politics of proximity. But the question you ask is, are they qualified? Do they have relevant experience? And I think that in the case of Mrs. Bianca Ojukwu, the answer is yes. Now, number three is that appointment is a very strategic one at a time when Nigeria is trying to engage the world.
Yes.
And I was trying to explain that portfolio. That in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you have the Minister of Foreign Affairs when it has a Minister of State in terms of division of labor. The Minister of Foreign Affairs focuses more on the bigger things. But the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, at least in our time, the main assignment is to look at things like ECOWAS, look at African Union, look at all these development organizations with which Nigeria has relations at a multilateral level. So it's a lot of work. And you need some significant experience within that province to be able to discharge it properly. So I think that the onus now, the ball is in the court of Mrs. Ojukwu to prove herself, to prove those skeptics who say, oh, it's because she's Mrs. Ojukwu, and to let them know that, no, it's not Mrs. Ojukwu. This is Bianca Ojukwu, who just happens to be Ojukwu's wife, and who knows this job, who even has a degree in the field, and who understands the territory. Well, so congratulations to her.
Fantastic. Good addition to the cabinet, I believe. Ayo, a quick comment on Bianca.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bazi, for highlighting that. And I think this applies mainly to women. When women are appointed, there's always, they explain it. Oh, it's because she's this, because she's married, it's her name, and not giving the merit. And so thank you for detailing her experience and saying that she's actually a round hole in the round peg. I saw the last tweet comment was flying.
Round peg in a round.
Round peg in a round. I said round hole in a round. Okay,
yeah, it's the most important thing.
I beg, whether a long peg, a long round or whatever, make una stop her. Let me go to the most important ministry that's it was leaked, it was not announced. So brace your seat, brace your seat, brace your seat, brace your seat. We are bringing you the ministry now. Brace up, brace up. The ministry is coming. It's coming close to you. So the ministry is going to come. The ministry that you've been waiting for. The ministry of FKK. Yeah? FKK. FKK, FFK. Okay. Thank you, VC. Okay, I know, no. Okay, FKK is a German stuff. Yeah, I know. FKK. FFK. FFK. Okay, FFK. He's got his ministry. His ministry is there. FFK. Let's review FFK's ministry, and let's get somebody to introduce the ministry. So let us bring Wike. Wike should first of all sing for us, because this ministry is very important. So Wike, sing first. Before we bring them in.
Ancient of days, as old as you are, as old as you are, yes, sir, you will never change. Ancient of days, as old as you are.
So Wike has given us the moment of upliftment. Recall, if I asked Tinubu, can you review these things that you would want to do with these men in this ministry? And Tinubu would tell me an answer. Ma says, okay, I am the first person here. I cannot reveal to you.
I don't want to sit here and reveal all my strategy.
Oh, Tinubu, review the ministry now. What are you doing? Review the ministry. Eh? Let us get another APC person to equivocate and tell us what the ministry is.
Today, I want to declare without equivocation.
God, no bite your tongue. Do not declare unto you. Today, we want to now declare, da-da! That's the ministry here. FKK is manning the ministry of Hamas affair. Reno Omakre is manning the ministry of Peter Obi affair. And Daniel Bwala is heading the ministry of Obedient Movement affair. With this, the men and women so far appointed can go to their various job posts on the Twitter to do what they know how to do best, to tweet and to do very well in these various ministries. When I saw this online, well, I really laughed my head off. I said, this some people are so wicked. How can they give Daniel Bwala Ministry of Obedient Movement? But again, it goes in line with the way the president gave positions, because it was people who were doing things in their various fields. Yeah, he was doing things in their various fields. So that's why they gave them what is befitting to them. If you don't give them, the Nigerian people will give them. It sounds like Odumeje. He says if you he has so many powers, he has separate lamande. So these guys, you go to Odumeje and collect these followers.
I have so many power. Le badu se ple lamande. I have Abido Sheka. I have never touched those ones. I have Dabus Kabash. Yes, I have Ganduka Gandusa. Mbeg Iwalonio.
But Odumeje be coming down, I beg. Don't cut anybody. So the bottom line here is that finally In all this up and down, tomorrow we will have a Friday hangout. Don't forget to join us tomorrow, 7 p.m. Get yourself something to drink as we engage in our Friday hangout. But for now, just go to Twitter, send these men congratulations. Femi Fani Kayode, FKK, FMM, UPS, HBC, Hamas Affairs, Reno Whitebeard, O Mokri, Minister of P2B Affairs, tweet morning till night, afternoon, talk about P2B. If your wife goes to the toilet to talk about P2B, it will do you well. And for further engagement, the Minister of Obedient Movement, you can speak with two tongues or whatever it is. Do well and do that. And this is the only person that is remaining, because I was actually expecting that this man should be given the Minister of Shooting Down Flying.
I said, if Ahmed Bola Tinubu fails, hold me responsible. You say? I say, if Tinubu fails, hold me responsible. Thank you. The job people are already angry that this is the worst government. We have just started. We must learn a lesson. This man! You're going to trust man. Man, Adam. Your eyes will see what your mouth cannot talk.
So, on that note, I say to you, trust yourself and good night. See you guys tomorrow. Bye for now. I am still Mazazuke. Please like, share, and subscribe.